Do you know of Paul Warner Powell? He murdered a young girl and was almost given death penalty, but his lawyers found a loophole and they gave him a life sentence instead. Afterward, he wrote letters bragging about his crimes, thinking he was free from further punishment because of double jeopardy. The letters were used as evidence and they immediately gave him the death penalty. Who was he writing letters to bragging about murdering a young girl? Who was he even sending that to? Bro, people marry serial killers. True. I mean that is true. Who has the longest sentence ever? That is an interesting question. Let's see. Let's see. Who had the longest prison sentence in history? Holy shit. This is number one by a long, long while. What the fuck? So it looks like Terry Nichols in 1995 convicted of 161 counts of first degree murder. Here, I'll pull it up on screen. I don't know why I'm doing this off screen here. And then in third place with 5,200 years. One of the chief bomb makers sentenced for the death of 66 Israelis and was held in solitary confinement. But it looks like Terry Nichols is still number one. First degree arson, conspiracy by the State Court of Oklahoma for his part in the Oklahoma City bombing of April 19th, 1995. Sentence in federal court for terrorism, 8 counts of involuntary manslaughter, and record for the most consecutive life sentences ever given to a single individual. Due to such a large number of sentences adding no parole possibility, it can also be declared as the longest officially confirmed sentence ever handed in the world. Are any of them still alive? That's a good question. I actually have never heard of Terry Nichols. Looks like he's still alive. So he was an accomplice in the Oklahoma City bombing, huh? Jesus. What the fuck? He shared a cell block that's commonly referred to as Bomber's Row with Ramsey, Eric, and then Ted. This is the Unabomber. Why do they have them there like it's like some kind of zoo to look at like the bombers or something? Is there some trash boat in the Prime Jack? It's super max. I would imagine, yeah. This is probably like that prison from Men in Black 3 on the moon. How about the recent serial killer of over 100 people who was caught recently? I don't know who you're talking about. I didn't hear about that. Recently as in like this year or like within the last decade? uses the term recently as in decade. Well, for 100 kills, I would imagine it's not something that just, like, is something that happens over the course of a short period of time. Like, I imagine, like, a decade would be, like, recent for catching someone with that many kills. Go back to the list and check prisoners not sentenced to life in prison. Number 1 is fucking wild. Whoa, where's that? Oh, prisoners not sentenced to life in prison. 141,000 years. Holy shit. For corporate fraud. She defrauded more than 16,000 in a pyramid scheme worth 204 million. Those convicted of fraud could not serve more than 20 years, and her mandatory release was 2009, and she paroled after only 8. Okay, so that sentence ended up being fucking nothing. So those are the longest in the U.S. Charles Scott Robinson. Longest jail term to a single American on multiple counts. Also the longest sentence ever handed in the U.S. Robinson was sentenced to 5,000 years for each of the 6 counts against him for raping a 3-year-old in Oklahoma. Damn. Number 1 on the life imprisonment was also Oklahoma. And number 1 in the not life imprisonment is Oklahoma. Jesus Christ. Thanks to the resub Stone Cold. There's some fucked up people in Oklahoma, goddamn. Appeal reduced his sentence by 500 years. What's this even the fucking point? Oh yeah, I see that right here. Upon appeal, his sentence was reduced by 500 years. I feel like any sentence over 900 years, they have to bring in like an old mage to declare the banishment. Yeah, some kind of ceremony or something. Thanks to the resub. Nut, Blah, Quinn, and the Bits Tori. No, I can't say I heard of them before, Tori. What's going on here? We ended up in this rabbit hole because I was showing the absolute clown fest that is the Parkland school shooters sentencing right now. His team is a joke. That whole defense team is a fucking joke, and they got disciplined in court by the judge. And it was wacky. Thanks to the resub, James. No, the judge was out of line? Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Did you just get here or something? Or is that bait? That has to be bait. I refuse to believe there's someone that actually thinks that. Oops.